Welcome back for part two. We got T in the house, and we are going to pick up on her journey of after leaving Watchtower. If y'all didn't catch part one, go back and check it out. But we'll pick up from here and talk about life after this crazy cult we was all in.
Right, literally. So we left off on you saying that you met your husband, you know, he checked like all your boxes except he wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. But I do want to kind of backpedal just a little bit because you said that nursing school was kind of what ended up allowing you to separate yourself a little. I went to nursing school too. I'm a nurse. And I remember during that time, even whenever the blood conversation came up, and I remember thinking about it like, man, like, what is the real reason that Jehovah's Witnesses don't, like, why don't we accept blood? Like, what's the reason? You know what I mean? And I remember asking one of the elders, and they were just like, oh, you know, they believe the soul is in the blood and blood is sacred, kind of a thing. Okay, so we're going to allow kids to die because of that? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You know, the body is sacred if we're really going off of the Bible, you know? So did you have any of those questions whenever you were in nursing school?
I think I felt more anxiety about it. Am I going to have to hang it? You know, am I going to have to hang blood for a patient? And then is that going to make me blood guilty? You know what I mean? So
for real.
Yeah, like that's what I used to like. That used to be my biggest concern.
Wow.
Not people's decision to, you know, take treatment, procedures, you know, or whatever. They have the free will to do that. It was just like, is this gonna make me blood guilty? Like, am I gonna be looked at as a, you know, bad person? All it's like, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. I'm not forcing, you know, blood on them. I'm not the one even making the decision. It's, you know, it's the providers. You know, at that time when I was bedside, that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest worry. Oh Lord, the day I gotta hang some blood.
That is a valid, I never thought of that, but that's a valid thing to feel because you just feel guilty about every little thing as a witness. Even like if you see somebody out in service walking down the street and you don't talk to them, it's like, dang, I'm guilty because I didn't save this person's life. But in reality, man, they minding their business and we should kind of mind ours at the same time. But yeah, that guilt is real.
Listen, you are a better Jehovah's Witness than I was because I didn't care about hanging the blood. To me, it was like, okay, like what if, actually, I remember I had a patient one time and it was a disfellowshipped sister that I knew and I had to take care of her. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to talk to her. Like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be in trouble. I remember those thoughts being in my head. And that should never come up whenever you're taking care of somebody, you know, like it just should never be a thing, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to ask, so once you started to wake up, what was your transition like leaving the organization? You know, sometimes people feel like they need to make an announcement. They need to notify the elders. Some people just fade. Everybody has a different formula. What was your transition like?
Well, like I say, I was, I guess, testing the waters with nursing school and after, once I started working as a nurse. Because I'm not about to go in here and tell these people I can't work Thursdays because I got a meeting. I'm just not going to do that. I'm the low man on the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? I get whatever days are left. And so that was like my little baby step or me trying to gain some independence. But I would say once I met my husband, he proposed, and I got married 3 months later.
Wow.
And yeah. And my best friend at the hall, I wanted, you know, out of respect for her and love for her, I wanted her to hear it from me. So I let her know that I was engaged and he wasn't a witness. And Her husband was, they changed the names, but he was the top elder. They changed the names all the time. And oh boy, I mean, they all kind of came in at that meeting. And, he basically kind of read me the riot act, like, don't include any of the friends, and Jehovah's not pleased with this, and, just all that kind of stuff. And I was like, even though I feel a little bad because you talking to me like this, but it's like, you just giving me more confirmation that I am going to marry him.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't even know him. You don't know any of his qualities. And you are making a judgment about him solely because he not a Jehovah's Witness. And I'm like,
very Christian-like.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, I'm done. So I got married. I moved from the city out to the suburbs, the northern suburbs. So a whole lot of distance. And just was living my life. But I'll admit, I was filled with witness guilt. But I was like, if Jehovah gonna destroy me, at least I'm married to an amazing man, and it was good while it lasted.
Oh my gosh, you probably look back and you're so happy that you made that decision. But isn't it crazy how small of a period of time it takes to like really get like indoctrinated and brainwashed and filled with this fear and guilt, and this is even more interesting from a perspective of somebody who didn't grow up in it. Like those chains are so hard to break. And we talk about this a lot. It's even more so hard to break if you grew up in this and all of your ties are within this organization. Like that is not easy,
Yeah. But that helped out that once everybody was being nasty to you, once you were waking up, it's the confirmation, like, you know what? I needed to see this so that it kind of lessens the blow that, what, these aren't really the friends I thought they were. This ain't the love that y'all told me I really have.
Right.
And you start to, it's like a undo button on, at first you look at the witnesses as good people and everybody else is bad. Then you start to see the good qualities in people who are not witnesses. And you start to look at them like the whole time y'all are the villains. Y'all are the judgmental people, the ones that's controlling, and everybody else is a lot more accepting. They don't care if I drive to this place on Sunday or if I drive over to this other place.
Right.
We still gonna kick it Sunday evening.
Yes. And it almost goes into also like once you do wake up, it's like, dang, like I kind of feel bad for these people because I once kind of was that person too. So it's like, it's almost giving them a little bit of grace too. Like, okay, you don't treat people very well, but also you're indoctrinated and you're brainwashed. So
you can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like how we kind of judge people when we were witnesses. And the one thing that helps with the guilt, or they always say, if you knew better, you do better.
Yeah.
And we sometimes cut people off or distance ourselves from people because we really thought that was the right thing to do.
Right.
And we'll beat ourselves up for like, dang, I missed so much time or a relationship with this person. But it's like, we just didn't know. We did what we thought was right.
Yeah.
And after the fact, especially if the people are still here, long as we do right now and we continue to put those bridges back together, like we can only control today. Like we can't go back and undo that stuff. And we didn't know.
Right. So you distanced yourself and you still felt the witness guilt. Have you relinquished yourself from some of that witness guilt or like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got married in 2017. And I don't know when Aftermath Scientology came out, Leah Remedy.
Yeah.
I think that was 2019. Whenever that came out, I mean, I was watching every episode. So my husband is like, oh Lord, you finna become a Scientologist. He like, she about to become a Scientologist. Oh Lord. But it was because I was like, this the witnesses. This is Jehovah's Witnesses. They just call it some different things. They may go a little bit more overboard. They might suck money from people in a different kind of way, and things of that nature. But that is what started helping me lessen witness guilt. And then um, a person who I thought was a friend. I felt like she was probably being put up to it, or she might have just wanted to get some time. She was like, hey, let's go to lunch. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go because this is going to be my last time. Because if all you're going to do is talk about the hall and this and that, I don't want to hear it, you know?
Right.
I'm living my life, minding my business. We went to lunch and she, just talking, and she mentioned that a younger person, younger than she and I, had videos. So I was like, what kind of videos? And how do you know? And this and that. And she then she felt a little type of way because I'm like, well, how you know she got videos? And so she was like, oh, like videos, like just talking down about, the truth and blah, blah, blah. Baby, I couldn't get home fast enough. I was on YouTube. I couldn't get home fast enough. And I'm putting the young lady's name in, different combinations, because I didn't know, because I knew I couldn't ask her.
Yeah.
I said, well, how do you know? I said, how you know? Well, where they at? Oh, well, so-and-so told me or whatever on Facebook. I'm like, it wouldn't be no videos on Facebook,
Yeah.
And in the midst of me looking for that young lady's videos, I came across this sector of XJW. And so I end up, like, the first, what was it? I think it was called John Cedar at the time, but Lloyd Evans channel, Critical Thinker JT, and Lady C, and just a bunch of the people who I consider like pioneers, who and I mean, that first day, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I thought this, I thought that. I wasn't crazy. I mean, deep down the rabbit hole. My husband got home. I said, it's a cold. It's a cold. He was like, what? I said, it's a cold. It's a cold. It's a cold. He was like, what? So then I started showing him videos and this and that. Then about 3 weeks, like I was on YouTube rabbit hole edition.
Yeah.
Like every day, couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
Then about 3 weeks in, I found that sister's videos.
Wow.
And it really brung it home. Because this somebody I knew that I had watched grow up, that I heard people talking nasty about it as a young person, talking about everything that they shouldn't have known, because it was those conversations were happening in the back room. So why do I know about it? I'm just a lowly publisher. Because witnesses love to gossip.
Yes.
Do.
And I watched her videos. I end up reaching out to her. And it's so crazy because like a week before I reached out to her, a week after discovering her videos, she just happened to be out in my town.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Yep. And she was nervous because I walked up to her because she knows she disfellowship.
Yeah.
And she thinking I'm probably like, oh, do she know?
Right.
I said, girl, don't worry. I done seen the videos. I'm right there with you, kind of thing.
Period.
So yeah, once I went down that rabbit hole, all that guilt just
it's lifted.
went away.
It's so funny how things come full circle, because she went there probably trying to encourage you to come back, but in her wrongdoing of gossiping, it really led you to your brighter awakening, which is so crazy that you say that, because we have same experience. Like somebody reached out to us from whenever we were Jehovah's Witnesses and was telling us like, hey, like these people were dragging you through the mud, but this is what led me to your channel. And we kind of knew this person, from whenever we were in there, and they were like, it's funny enough, their gossiping literally planted the seed and confirmed all the thoughts that I have been having and led me to all these XJW videos. So they don't even realize what they do,
They helping people wake up.
Yes, like completely, and relieving that guilt. That's such a good feeling. I think one of our last questions that we kind of want to ask you is like, how has that road to recovery and healing, how has that been for you?
Well, I've always been ambitious, and that is not really encouraged, as a witness, as a woman.
Yeah.
So I didn't let that go, even though I had to deal with like every time there was local needs, and they talked about, higher education. I always felt like, they was pointing the fingers like at me because I'm the only person in here with, with degrees.
Right.
So not letting go of my ambition, despite whatever they were saying, not letting go of my my biological family,
Yeah.
my my real friends, even though we might not be doing birthdays or this, we might not have been doing that, we still was connected. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what helped me, because I don't like to say I had a double life. I just continued to still be me. I couldn't be this cookie cutter, perfect JW from getting just all the things.
Yeah.
So that helped. And then, obviously discovering the XJW YouTube, community to help validate that all the things that I ever had a red flag or like, this don't seem right or whatever, just to have it validated.
Yes.
And things of that nature. And so I've moved on. I've accepted that I probably only really had two real friends, because I don't know if they've seen my videos or anything like that, but they're the only ones who will still keep in touch with me.
Right.
Who will still text, who will still call. One of them, we used to go to Essence every year, even after I faded, or whatever term they want to put on you,
Right.
and things of that nature. And so just moving on with my life.
Yes.
Doing what I want to do, being courageous enough, like how when they do hear my story here on YouTube or just whatever out in the world, they so used to hearing only people who grew up in it, or they family, they were 7 or 8, or something like that, and it's like I don't know if I had mentioned it earlier, but this week I was struggling. I do have these moments where I'll be like, you got 4 degrees, so clearly you book smart. You from the south side of Chicago, so you know how to navigate in these streets. You
street smart.
You street smart. How did you allow yourself to get caught up in a cult? And some days I'm able to just say, you didn't know no better, and give myself grace, and I can go on. But this week I struggled a little bit, because you feel dumb.
You feel played.
You feel dumb. And one thing that I'm real big on, especially after that experience, is if my inner voice is saying, this ain't it, that's what we rock with. We don't let nobody talk us into something else. So it's still a journey. I still, I it's probably not a day go by I don't watch somebody SJW channel. Because I like people's different perspective. It keeps me, some people are a little bit more informative. They're really watching what's going on over there on JW broadcast and stuff like that. So at least help, keeps me kind of in the know a little bit. But it's a process, but I don't have no guilt. I'm focusing on me and, my goals and things of that nature. And I started my channel in hopes for other people, because it might be other people like me who maybe came in a little bit later in life for whatever reason, and things of that nature. So that's pretty much how I've, kind of healed and recovered and moved on.
That's amazing. And I want you to please shout out your YouTube channel to where people can find you at. And we'll make sure to plug it in the description as well.
Okay. You want me to do that now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my channel is Same Old T, Same, SAMEOOLETEE.
All right.
Okay, and that's where they can find you. And I like how, to wrap all this up,
Yeah.
T pointed out that her experience as a Jehovah's Witness sharpened her intuition.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the experience was something terrible to go through. But now, after ignoring your intuition, going through something and be like, okay, so from now on for the rest of my life, I trust me, I trust my gut feeling,
Yes.
and I'm going to do my homework on everything I come across. And this is a message and a story you could share to the next individual. Like, listen, this sound crazy, but I went through this, but now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually appreciate your story so much because it offers us perspective as well, that like it doesn't matter if you grew up in it or did not grow up in it. The chains are just as hard and the indoctrination is just as strong, regardless if you grew up in it or not.
Yeah, it was created by professionals at the end of the day.
It really was.
Yeah, these professional manipulators.
Yes, the psychological stuff that they like make you go through, and even in such a short period of time, it's literally like an abusive relationship. It's just quick. Like, how did I end up in this situation?
Yeah, these are businessmen that know how to target an audience and sell things to people who haven't stepped into business.
Yeah.
In that type of way, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
All right. Well, thank you so much, T, for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully maybe we can, collab at some point later on in the future again. And yeah, we'll make sure to put those links in our description box, y'all.
Yep. And thank you for coming through. And you can hit us on Instagram at Awaken Truths IG. We have our TikTok at Awaken Truths LLC.
We have our healing journals. We have the Pimo edition and also the regular edition to help break those chains.
Yep.
And that's about it. We will catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
See y'all later.